Hello, baby.
Hello, we're back.
Your favorite duo.
Yes, we're back, everyone.
Hi. Episode 3.
Yes.
Big questions, small talks.
Yes, I can't believe we've survived 2 weeks.
I know, it's kind of wild. I feel like my dopamine for like the year happened in one day.
Yes, and with the 2 episodes, the amount of people, friends that literally came out of the woodworks to be like, oh my God, I loved your podcast. And I was like, oh my God, you really do forget that people you know or once knew would listen to this.
Yeah, but I had 0 exes come out. No, you know how like they say the creepy crawlers come out like on Thanksgiving or Christmas and they say like happy holidays? I did not have one.
I didn't have any exes. And
maybe we're growing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just thought about that. I haven't had any exes congratulate me, so
Fuck off.
fuck off.
Okay, so we opened our DMs, had a fun little scroll, and our big question of the week is, how do you make friends as an adult?
Yeah, it's a good topic. And I think once we decided to answer this question for this week, we spoke about how we want to do this episode in generally about friendship, and we'll go into a lot of our thoughts about friendship as a topic in general. But we definitely want to answer the question of how do you make friends as an adult? Devon, I think you should take it away because you're more creative than me at making friends.
I think, well, for me, I have to say it's always been quite easy because I'm such an extrovert. So I've never had a problem making friends. I think there was one point in my life, I'd definitely say in like my mid-20s, that I had like the biggest network of friends. Mm-hmm. And then as I've gotten older, I think you just naturally like kind of go for quality over quantity, or you find friends that are growing with you and like you're just what you're doing changes. Like in my 20s, I was going out so much and I had like a kind of like party group of friends where now it's like it kind of has whittled down.
Right. And I think with university as well, it obviously makes it so much easier to have a constant group. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but were you popular?
I was.
I don't even know why I'm asking you this. Of course.
I was like such a diva in middle school and also in like the popular group in high school. But I went to all girls high school.
So it's not hard.
And it was like kind of like the popular group and then everybody outside of the group.
Yeah, of course you were popular. I don't even know why.
Like running around. Like at the time it was like Juicy Couture socks, like the high knee socks were in, and like Louis Vuitton backpack and like the
we did not have that in England. We did not have that.
What were you?
I was popular in a very interesting way in that I wasn't in like the popular girls group in my year, but I was popular in the sense that like everyone in school knew me because I was a part of literally everything. So I would do sports, I would do musical theatre, I would hang out with different year groups, both below and above me. So I had friends in different year groups. So everyone at school knew me and I was popular by name and they knew who I was. But I wasn't in like the hot popular girls group. And I also wasn't popular in the sense that guys didn't really find me hot, which I don't really care about. Well, did any guys find me hot? This is your chance to tell me. I don't think they did, but I didn't really care because A, the guys that I did like weren't so hot themselves. Like they were very attainable for me. And B, if I wasn't with them, I was with women. So it really did not matter. But interestingly enough, a lot of the hot boys in my school growing up that did not find me hot, they definitely returned years and years later being like, what's up? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you were really mean to me. So I was very content with where I was in the school hierarchy of popularity because I didn't really care about being in like the popular girl niche, which was only like 3 or 4 girls in my year.
Yeah.
My best friends were in the popular girls group.
Then in high school, it's like when you go to all girls school, you have to understand like female dynamics, I think like a lot faster because it is so cliquey and like mean girls are a thing.
Do you think that has helped you into making friends in adulthood?
I definitely think so. So when I went to college, I was also in a sorority. So I definitely say I'm like a gal's gal. But I think because I went to an all-girls school, you really navigate the different nuances of female friendships. I think specifically like having frenemies and girls can be really jealous. Like in high school, so my high school friends are like my best friends, and they're like my Dina girls. And so we've been friends for like over 20 years, and we're all at different points in our life, but like still BFF. And like my best friend, Veronica, like we've been friends since the 8th grade. So, and she says like I was a diva when she met me.
I love that.
But I think girls, there like specific situations in high school about mean girls, and like there was one girl who like would be your friend and then she'd talk behind your back and then you'd be confused and she'd like then date your boyfriend. And I think when you're really young like that, it's so overwhelming and really difficult and feels really mean. But I think those tools actually really helped me succeed as an adult, especially navigating the workplace with making friends at work.
Yes, and can I just say I have the biggest FOMO about not ever being in a sorority because I went to school in the UK. Like, I think I would have been such a good gay sorority. Sorority girl. I have a lot of FOMO about that, and I have FOMO about like big sports team in the US at college. I think I would have been like either soccer scholarship girl or maybe like a volleyball girl.
You would have killed the sorority life.
Thank you. Yeah. I really do think I would have.
Like with the party planning.
Yes.
So fun.
Alas, I just got drugs and beats and bass in the UK. Okay, so obviously you're saying you were popular and you had a lot of friends, even though you navigated sort of the mean girl culture of all Catholic girls high school, which sounds insane to me.
So fun.
Like not having boys though, like I think that's so formative.
It made me even more boy crazy though.
Yeah.
But it was honestly the best experience. Like if I have a daughter, I'd want her to go to all girls school.
Interesting.
I think I feel really lucky because the friends that I have from high school are such ride or dies that like I feel so blessed that they are in my life and in my orbit. So I think that's why I feel that way.
Yeah. So you're still friends with those friends, and how have you then navigated making new friends into adulthood, if any? Yeah. I mean, I know I'm new to your life as of 5 years ago. I think,
especially with work, it's so hard because I think women are just naturally competitive with each other, especially in the workplace. And I know I've had to deal a lot of times, like I've had a few different paths in my career with women kind of being like frenemies where you think that they have your back, but then they're jealous because maybe you're getting a promotion or like you're doing better than them or you're getting more accolades, and they will try to undermine you. And I think that can be at any age. So I think my advice for navigating adult friendships is to genuinely just show up as who you are and expect nothing from anyone, and just when people show up for you with where they're at in their life, you see if it works for you with where you're at, not who you want them to be. Yeah. If that makes sense.
100%. And I think when you're young and you have your friends when you're young, everything in life is so structured. You go to school, you go to college, you have your sports team, you might do Saturday classes of something, you might go to church, that there are a set of expectations in this playbook that everyone plays. And I think going into adulthood and making friends and everyone's lives look so different, you kind of have to relearn that you can't expect anything from anyone, and friends give in the way that they can. And I've definitely learned that, I don't give to friends to receive anything in return, and I show up in the way that I can. And I kind of have to accept that they'll show up in the way that they can.
Yeah.
But to your point about work, I've had some lifelong friends made, you, through being work wives and trauma bonding.
Yeah.
I do agree that female friendships at work is very interesting, often transactional.
So I think longevity friends and legacy friends are amazing, and I think that you can still find in your adulthood a really core group of females that have your back, but they are just experiencing you as you grow, and they know you at a different place than maybe like a childhood friend. And then those friends that I have in the OC are married or having babies or buying houses, and they're kind of like in different areas of their life than I am. And I think what's so cool is like I'm just not a jealous person with female friendships. So finding friends that you can root for and be like truly fired up like from their wins is also how you can succeed.
Yeah. And to that point as well, making friends at work in different stages of their life, I think we have this in common, but we've always had older friends. I was 16 having, 30-year-old friends, 35-year-old friends. And then later on in my early 20s, my friends were then like turning 40.
Yeah.
I was also obviously dating much older. And now I have friends, well, also partly because they're my wife's friend and my wife's like 80, but I'm joking, my wife's not 80. They are like in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And she's always like, do you feel comfortable that, you're hanging out with some people who are older? And I'm like, I absolutely feel so comfortable. And she also says how it's interesting for her hanging out with my friends, how she's now the older one in that friendship group, and how it's, the roles have reversed and it's quite weird for her.
Yeah.
But I have always had multi-generational friends, and I think maybe it comes from being an only child where I've always related to adults better. Mm-hmm. But I also think it enriches your life in such an amazing way, not just hanging out with people that are going through the same things as you.
Like-minded.
Just having diversity of age as well as of thought and cultural, etc.
I'm very similar to you in that way. When I was very young, I always would want to hang out with like my mom's friends, and then they'd become my friends. Mm-hmm. Or any guy friends I've had, or like previous relationships, I've usually like befriended the mom or like their sister,
right? Because
I genuinely just care for people so much, and I think it's so fun to get to know new people, and like, I don't know, like you experience life together. And to me, it might be because I'm just so sentimental, but I think when you have the opportunity to meet new people and get to know them, like if they stick, like I think like the universe brings them into your life for a reason. I also have always kind of had like older friends. I mean, obviously, like my old boss at Playboy is like one of my BFFs, and we live together. And like, I am so grateful for her, and like, she's my best friend.
We love her. Yeah. Shout out.
And like, her daughters are like my sisters. And I think what I feel so lucky about is that because when I met her, like, yes, was my boss, or maybe a bit older. Like, I'm always open to like meeting new people. And I think if you're really open, unexpected people will surprise you as like a friendship match.
Definitely. And to that point of being open, I think you're very, very good at this. I think I was good at this when I was a bit younger, but essentially just, messaging people and putting yourself out there, like asking people for coffee dates. You are so good at seeing someone and you're like, I'm just going to ask them for a coffee or for a drink. Yeah. People that you might meet unexpectedly, like in line for a coffee, or
right.
A friend of a friend that you've just met, really just putting yourself out there. And I think that is not a thing in my life as much anymore, because I've gone from relationship to relationship to relationship. So a lot of my friends have come from the other party, and that is great. I think the problem with that, though, is that if I'm not hanging out with friends, whether it's mine or theirs, you don't make an effort to make new friends because you've already got your partner and you don't have much time in the world. So yeah. I think it's easier putting yourself out there when you're single, because really you have more time and you want to make more connections, you want to go out more. And yeah. I really wish I had more of that, honestly, because then I would have more friends now.
Your partner's friends like then evolve and like they become your friends. And then I do think it almost can become really comfortable, where it's right. like then the added effort to like then go outside of the clique. I recently was seeing someone and got to know his friends, and then it didn't end up working out, and I got to inherit this beautiful friend group of like the most amazing people in LA, and their newer friendships, and I like pinch myself and I feel so lucky, because I think like the reason that he and I met was honestly to meet this new friend group. Like, I don't think it was about us. And I think that's a testament to like, it is really difficult, especially in LA, to sometimes like meet genuine people who are really real. And like you were saying earlier, are not transactional. But I think to your point, I am so extroverted that if I meet someone and we have a rapport, I'm like, do you want to get drinks? Like, do you want to get a lunch? And like, I also just genuinely, when we were talking about hobbies, I love getting to know people and hearing their story. I just think like we're on this earth with so many different individuals. And to me, that's like the whole point of life, is like getting to like experience all these like beautiful souls. Like,
I love that we're doing this episode of like, we can make friends easy. We're extroverts. Like, we literally have no input for introverts because we can't relate. We don't know how introverts make friends. No, I'm joking. The introverts.
I do think my mom is very introverted, and she has said it was hard with her making friends, and she experienced a lot of frenemies. But I feel very lucky that I have not ever had an issue with that.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that I've been really craving in my life that relates to adult friendships, but is that I have a lot of friends, but they're all dotted around the world. So on the weekends, I don't have a friendship group that I can text on a group chat and be like, let's all go out. I've had that at many different stages of my life. Year abroad, post-year abroad, like when we were all graduates. I had it sort of 2020 pandemic year when I decided to move to Hawaii and everyone was kind of doing the same thing and I met new friends. I'm in a stage in my life right now where I don't have that. And I always tell my wife about it. I'm like, I just want a group of friends. And she says, you have so many friends. What are you talking?
So many friends.
But they're all dotted around and it's all individuals. And so I do see them a lot. You know, I literally get on flights to see my friends, but I really crave having a friendship group. Like, you went to school here and you could literally get 5 people to go out with you for drinks. I think I could get like two in one night.
I get what you're saying though, just because like from being at your birthday, like so many people showed up for you like across the world.
Well, they had to fucking fly in because all my friends literally are not in this country.
Mm-hmm. I do think too, work I'm very grateful for because I've met such incredible people. Something that I feel like would be like advice is that I just think people will surprise you as an adult. So who you'd maybe normally gravitate towards is not necessarily like a new friendship match. Like, I think somebody,
or vice versa.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have a confession to make.
Oh my God. I could tell because you had a twinkle in your eye.
So when I met you, I remember the first minute of meeting you. It was on Zoom and our boss was like, this is this new person, Devon. And I just remember in this Zoom, you were so serious. I think you were cosplaying being professional. Now that I know you, you were definitely just cosplaying like being super professional. And I thought, this girl is so fucking serious.
And then you were going to say weird.
No, I didn't think you were weird. I just thought you were. And then you started talking and you had this Valley Girl accent. And I was like, oh, and she's from LA. And I was like, we're not going to be friends.
Okay, so my story to that is the HR director at the time had called me after I signed and got the job, and she was like, you need to look up this girl on LinkedIn and friend her and message her and ask to get lunch. And I was like, I am not going to do that. That is so freaking weird. I will look like a freak. So I think and then she said, no, she's going to be like a love match, like for friendship. Like, this is a total friendship match.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm playing matchmaker. So then I think when I met you, I maybe was feeling nervous because like I had built it up in my head that like, oh, we're supposed to be this friendship match. I also do think, though, I tend to, like, try to be, like, way more serious than I actually am.
You were so serious. Yeah. And I was like, this girl is
kind of quiet, maybe?
Yes. And then, I don't know, I did not think we'd be friends. But that was only from the first hour. And then after that, I was like, I love her.
But I definitely think at work, I start off very serious and then my freak flag comes out and I'm just like myself. But I tend to like be a little bit more quiet in the beginning because I think I'm like surveying the scene and I'm like figuring out all the dynamics with everyone.
Yeah. I think at 30 years old, one thing that you just mentioned about, you know, sometimes you have to be open because the people you think you'd be friends with are not, and then vice versa. I don't know to this day whether I'm a good judge of character or not.
Yes, you are.
Am I?
Yeah. Why? What's
okay? So my life philosophy and how I, you know, navigate the world is I definitely think I'm a trusting person. I choose to trust everyone and I choose to want to befriend everyone until I get hurt or until someone betrays that trust. And I intentionally want to live like that because I don't want to be cynical or skeptical of people because I want to be open. But yeah, there are times where I've, you know, met someone like you or another person, I think, nah, I'm not going to like them. And then they just completely surprise me. So it's that initial judge of character that I don't think I'm very good at. I'll still give, someone my trust fully, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm good at that.
I think it also could be like, well, you're in a work setting. Or like maybe if you're at coffee, you're not like me, like, talk to me. You're like, oh, I'm like working on my phone, and then this person's talking to me and you're like, please get away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could also just be like based off of your mood.
I also think it's cultural because I feel very foreign in this country, and I swear to God, Americans are aliens to me. I go around and I don't know what people want, what they mean. Like, I feel so foreign. LA doesn't fucking help because it is the most transactional city on earth. So I've kind of just come to accept that LA is not a good playground for me to do any scientific study on friendship matchmaking because it's LA. Like, people always want something from you. I've been very lucky, as have you, that the real, true, amazing friends that I've at least made in LA have just been through work, and we're just also like-minded. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't made friends in LA that are outside of work. And then, if I'm back in the UK or if I'm in Brazil where I'm from, I feel like I know people more. Like, I just understand their essence better. And I think I'm a better judge of character in my own, like, natural habitats.
I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. I feel like I've definitely been burned by friendships before, like, as I'm sure everyone has. But when I think about, like, the group of friends that I have, I also think just as an adult, when you're younger, it's like you have your little clique of, like, your gals or your like group of friends that you go out with, and then you do everything with them. Where I think then when you get older, for me, how I feel is like you can have different buckets for different friends for what you go to. So you don't need to go to all of your friends for life advice, but like you can have your friend that if you just want to go on a walk and talk about life, you have them. If you're like, fuck it, I want to go out and like get some drinks and like go dance all night or like stay out all night, you have that friend. And like, of course, they can all cross paths. Like, I have certain friends that I go to about like work advice and investing and like finance. And they're not the same friends that I want to talk to if I'm having like a hard time personally.
Right.
So I think too, that's a really big thing is like, not everybody in your life needs to know all the things or show up for you in all the different ways. And I think a lot of people in friendships can get really disappointed because they're like, well, he or she wasn't there for me like that. Or he or she let me down, or they don't have this. And it's like, it shouldn't just be that linear, in my opinion. Like, I've had friends that I've made at work that are like, I don't know, my social friends, and you keep up with them on Instagram. Or you have your friends, like I've started doing cooking classes and I've made like a girl gang that's like 80 plus. And like we have a group thread and we send each other pictures of cobblers. Like I love that.
When you said 80 plus, I thought you meant they were all 80 plus years old.
Yeah, like 80 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're really taking the like, we're friends with every age.
Yeah,
to
but I think
I love
like
that.
I love that because it's such a testament to different people, different friends. You learn something from all of them, and it's just like not putting pressure on it.
I'd say I agree with you. The only red flag that I really do have when making adult friends and then, you know, learning about their friendship dynamics is people that have not had friends or don't still have their childhood, school, or it can be university, all right, for all I care. But friends that have stuck through their life. I think that's weird.
I think that's red flag.
Massive red flag.
I also think when girls don't have any girlfriends, that is a red flag.
Huge red flag.
Come for me, think I'm a bitch for saying it. If you're a girl and you just can't get along with other girls, I do not fuck with you.
No. Yeah, I love a girl's girl.
But yeah, I think when you don't have any childhood friends, obviously that could be like quite nuanced if like there's something crazy that happened, but I do think to not have like one at least,
red flag.
Yeah.
And on the gender thing, I love this topic. Is it okay for girls who are heterosexual like yourself ish to be friends with guys if you have a boyfriend?
So I am the wrong person to ask this because I have a lot
Jelly
of
cat.
platonic guy friends. I love my guy friends. There's like all these funny things that say like girls and guys can't be friends because like one of them has to have a crush on the other, or like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying. I love having my guy friends. I think that when I've been in relationships and they have girlfriends, I like it. I think it's like really, really healthy. And I actually encourage it. But then I usually want to be her friend. I'll be like, oh, like, does she want to come over? Like, can I hang out with you guys? Like, I think it's so much fun. I have been in relationships where I feel like maybe the guy doesn't like that I am super close with like another guy.
I think it's very normal. I love it, you know, but I will say, whilst I normalize it, there's definitely been situations in my life when I was with a man, he was very friendly with girls because he was just a friendly person, and he was friends with certain girls that liked him, fancied him. And so where's the line of, yes, you can be friends with them, but hey, like, they really like you. And I know I'm a girl, like, I can fucking tell.
If you can tell, then obviously I think that's like highly inappropriate. I think for me, my younger brother and I are so close, and growing up we were like pretty inseparable together. And so I am just used to kind of having like a brother-sister bond, in the sense that like my brother lives in Chicago now. And so my guy friends that I have that are platonic, I think of them as like my big brothers.
Right.
I don't think of them as like anything more than that, truly, genuinely. But I obviously, devil's advocate, get that like a girl would not enjoy that. I just think, I don't know, I've always had platonic guy friends like my whole life.
This is such a good topic because I can see both sides. I also, in being in the marriage I'm in now, where we're both bisexual, there are also just so many men that I know aren't just there for the fucking friendship and good laughs and good times. And I'm just like, I don't want to be the jealous person that says you can't be friends with a male, but this male does like you. So I think with me, it's like, I think it's great. I've had really great guy friends, like girlfriends and all that. But I think it's just knowing and having the awareness to know if something's inappropriate or if like someone likes you.
Yeah.
But I struggle with this. I think I'm quite jealous.
I think that's where I'm not jealous, a wowza. But I do think something that I want to actively work on is, in my next relationship, if the man that I am seeing didn't like that, like, I would obviously want to be like receptive and like respect him and like take that into consideration. Because I also think I can be like very fun, and I'm like, let's all do this together, let's all hang out. And like, if someone I was seeing said like, oh, I don't appreciate that you were doing that, I would obviously course correct and not want to make them feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But I think also, anytime that I've been friends with guys, if they have a partner, I usually then end up becoming better friends with their partner.
That's the best though.
You know?
That is the
so
best.
Much fun. And I'm like, thank you, sir, for giving me this like a beautiful angel girl that now I get to have as my close friend. Like, I'm so lucky.
That is the best scenario, when you have a guy friend that is in a relationship. So there is no jealousy. They're with someone.
Yeah.
It's all healthy. You're all buddies. Then you've got like all these new couple friends. And also, it also depends what stage of life they're in. You know, if someone's been in a marriage for like 40 or 30 years, it is a more secure space of them having, you know, male friends or female friends than when you just entered a new relationship and, you know, they're still figuring out their trust issues and all that.
I just thought of this. Have you ever had a close friendship that then the person told you, like, I secretly have liked you?
No, but here's the thing. I'm now thinking of something and someone. No. I can't. No, I have.
Can you say it but just not say the name?
No, because I've not had that.
Oh.
But what I'm thinking about is, I think there are people that might like me or might have liked me.
Are you referring to me?
No, it's not new to you. You know who I'm speaking about.
Somebody that, oh, yes.
See?
Yes.
But
the Hail Mary.
but would never tell me. And I don't want to know, quite frankly. But here's the thing. I don't think... Deceased. I don't think that would ever work with me because everyone I've ever been with romantically has not started from a friendship. I'm just not that person that enters into romantic relationships from friendship. And I hear the statistics are great that if you enter a relationship from being friends, it's successful, it's great more often than not. It's just, honestly, it's the good thing to do.
Yeah.
I've always just met people and decided I loved them within day 2. I'm like, you're it.
I'm trying to think. I have had friends, male friends, that then, yes, we ended up kind of like seeing each other. But I've not had a male friend that I was just friends with that then we were dating and turned into my boyfriend.
Yeah. Honestly, the idea of friends with benefits that I've never entered into sounds amazing to me. You've had a few.
Yeah.
See, I love that. It sounds amazing. But then you fall for them.
Yeah. Then I fall for them.
And then you can't be friends.
I do not hang out with anyone anymore that I do not like platonic or not. If I'm not obsessed with you, I just don't want to hang out with you. So friends with benefits just does not work for me because I end up always really falling for them.
Yeah.
And then I really hurt my own heart and it's so painful.
R.I.P.
And then you lose like a friend too.
Yeah. No, never entered into that, but sounds really interesting. How about being friends with your exes? Can you do that? Can we do that? Can you do that?
So I have a few friends that I dated and we are still super homies. I have one person that was not my boyfriend that we were kind of dating and we're still friends, but like I still like him. So I don't know if that works great for me.
Yeah.
I think if it was I think it might be I don't know. It's hard for me to answer.
I'm quite a jealous person in relationships, as we have come to find out. And I think I prefer my partners not to be friends with their exes unless it's an ex from way back when and, you know, they're lovely and
what if the ex, though, is like dating someone or like married? Still?
Again, no, I'm not that bad. Maybe, yeah, I'm making it sound like I'm awful. It's not that bad. I just think it depends on the dynamic. And I've had the same with me. Like, I've always wanted to be friends with my exes. I have fucking amazing exes. They're all amazing people. Yeah. I would literally get them all for coffee or tea and put them in a room together. I don't know if my partners want that from me.
Yeah. I think it's also now that you're married, I just like...
There's no need. There's just no need.
Because I could see why she's just like, is that like necessary?
It's difficult though when, you know, because every partner I have had has been a long-term relationship. I literally feel like I've come out of the fetus in a fucking monogamous relationship. Honestly. We're so different with how we've, you know, gone through our romantic lives. And they've all been long-term. They've all, you know, lasted years. And so you get to know someone. You get to know their family. There are things you see in culture and society and walking down the street that you want to tell them about. And it has to be them because it's something specific to them.
Yeah.
And that feeling will never go away. It might be 20, 30 years down the line and you might want to speak to that person for whatever reason.
I feel like that so much where it's like a certain song or like something that's like very specific.
But you can see why it would be weird for your partner where you're texting someone a song or like being like,
oh my God.
Or you're like, I saw this poem. It reminded me of our 2012 Amsterdam trip.
Like to do that.
Yeah, like I can see why it's not a good idea. But no, I think friends with ex is great. I think there has to be an understanding of the dynamic. There has to be an understanding of where that person's at. I'm quite jealous, you know, if we cannot be friends with exes, that's better for me and I'll do the same. But at the same time, I get it. Like, I get why you'd want to. These people know you. Like, you've been with them for years. You know their innermost secrets and darkest feelings. And it's weird. It's weird having an ex, right?
It's so weird.
It's fucking bizarre.
I, like, have the hardest time saying bye to anyone. Like, it literally hurts my soul so much, like, when I have to say bye. Like, I always get so teary, and I've just always been like that, even if the person did me dirty. Because I just, like, I don't know.
Don't you love how this episode about friends, we're now talking about crying over exes?
Okay, I just thought of this when you were saying this. What about mixing friends? Because you know how it's like you have like your all these different friend pockets and then the birthday comes up. And I always get so much anxiety.
No, I love it.
Because you're so worried about everybody getting along and then having to work the room. And so mixing friends, I've actually found to be the harder part of getting older versus making the friends.
So here's the thing. I can't relate. I fucking love to mix friends. In fact, my wife is always saying that to me. She's like, don't you get anxious about mixing this 70-year-old person who lives in this place with your like 20-year-old friend who just does drugs? And I'm like, no, I love it. And here's why I love it. I think everyone's an adult. If I invite them to a function, they have agency and choice to come or not.
Yeah.
They have probably an expectation of what they will see and encounter. It's their choice. Everyone's an adult. And not only do I not care, but my biggest passion in life is making my friends best friends. So my best friend in life, who you know, Laura, she didn't meet my best friend from my year abroad, Brie, when I was in Australia. But then after the fact, they were both living in London and I introduced them. And I specifically said to them, you need to be best friends. Like, this is the brief. Go.
That is so fun.
Yeah, I love making, and then it's easier for me. Then they don't have to call me. They don't have to, like, just go be friends.
Yeah. So you don't, that's actually, so you're like playing matchmaker with your friendship.
Yes. And here's why I think I'm very good at that. I'm very needy in my relationship, like romantic relationships. I'm quite, anxiously attached. I'm needy. I have expectations. When it comes to friendships, I don't get jealous. I'm not needy. I like to know that my friends would do things for me and show up in a certain way, but I don't really expect them to. So when they don't, I'm not crying in my sleep.
Yeah.
So because of that, I love just sending them off and yeah.
I don't really mix friends, but it's not for a specific reason. I think it's just like location wise, like where everyone lives and like what they're doing. Like for my birthday this year, like I guess I had mixed friends, but I'd say like I usually like hang out with like different friends in different pockets.
Yeah.
You are like that. 'Cause I feel like if like one of my friends met the other friend and then they wanted to get lunch, I think that's so fun. I wouldn't be worried like, oh, are they saying anything negative about me?
Here's the thing. I don't fucking care. Everyone needs an outlet. If you want to bitch about me, please do. I will say though, no, like I don't want to hear it. Don't bitch about me to me. Go bitch to my other friend. I will say there are dynamics in friendships, especially when it's 3 girls.
Yes.
And I just thought of this because of the White Lotus, and I think they're doing a terrific job at like accurately displaying this, dynamic of 3 women where one of them is always a fucking shit stirrer.
Yes.
And will bitch about each other to each other, and it all starts from one.
I hate the shit stir. I do not have any friends in my life left that are the shit stirrers. If you are a shit stirrer, out. I think it is the least attractive thing, but yes.
I think it's hard though with the 3 because it's, those dynamics are awful when, everyone's sort of bitching about each other, but you love each other so much that you can't help but just be like.
Right. I think I was telling you this, but my best friend, we used to always get so much shit because people would say, like, if they hung out with us, then they were the 3rd, that they felt so left out. So then we would text each other before we'd hang out with someone that was the 3rd and be like, don't take selfies with each other. Don't take pictures. Include them. Don't laugh at my jokes. And then we'd literally be so awkward with each other. And then people would still say they felt left out.
That's
and
so
we're just
interesting.
Like, okay. But I think the White Lotus is doing a really good job of like bringing in the discourse and the rhetoric behind like female friendships, getting older with friends because all 3 of them are living different lives.
Yeah.
And then also feeling like a third wheel.
Yeah. A huge part of friendship is being able to have such solid friends that you can call them with your wins as well as your struggles and losses.
Yes.
So I can call you, I can call Laura, I can call my other 15 best friends that I have on a list in my phone in case I ever forget if I'm like in an accident and lose my memory. No, genuinely, I have a note called My Best Friends.
Oh, yeah.
You're in it.
Wait, love.
Just in case, like,
You won't lose
I
the
get...
memories.
Yeah, if I get, like, amnesia or something, like, I just want to know.
Yeah.
Any of those 15 people, and it's 1 in, 1 out, so, like...
Yeah.
The note only goes to 15. But I could call any one of those people and say, I just launched a podcast. I'm so proud of myself. I want you to watch it and tell me what you think. Or like, I just won this award. I'm so happy. And if you ever have a friend that you don't feel you can pick up the phone and say something good that happened to you because they'd be jealous or they would feel some sort of way, that is not a friend.
Correct.
And I think oftentimes we feel comfortable to call our friends with our struggles because that is the one sentiment that we know people are like okay with, because then they can feel better about themselves.
I think that's something that I have really learned about friendships in the past, and those just friendships haven't worked, because my favorite thing is celebrating friends' wins.
You are so good at it. I've never met someone so, like, I'm gonna cry. You bake me cookies when I do something good. I'm like, I feel like a little schoolgirl.
I love being a cheerleader for people and like being the hype girl. I love seeing friends win. You're really good at it. Brings me joy and like chills across anything, like if it's for work, if it's for family, if it's for personal, literally if it's like the smallest thing, it doesn't matter. I actually get energy from seeing other people win. I've never like really dealt with like comparison in that way. Like, I'm very hard on myself personally, but I've never felt like if a friend was bragging to me about a win, and I hate to even say brag, that's not brag, that's like celebration. I've never been like, well, I wanted that.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yes.
And again, I hate it to also bring it back to the cultural thing, but I've been very lucky that I've been able to observe friendship dynamics in so many different cultures and countries. Yeah. And I will say the one thing about being brought up in Brazil is friendship groups, especially girl friendship groups, last a long, long time. And everyone's so celebratory for each other's wins in a way that I've not seen it in here or the UK. And I've always said to myself, I want to be like that. I mean, I think you're pretty much like that. So maybe it's your Sri Lankan side, like coming out. I just think it's such a beautiful thing to think about, you know, obviously for both of us, any little thing that happens, we call our mothers. Yeah. And to think if one day, God forbid, something was to happen to our mothers, we have friends that we can call and just be like, this just happened to me. And it's, you know, good news. And they would still be as happy as your mother for you.
I know there's a lot of like conversations right now that talk about like how it's important to celebrate people. Like a lot of times, like in American culture, it's like you're only being celebrated if you get engaged, you're married, you have a baby. And so there's like a lot of conversation about like celebrating other wins, like getting a promotion, getting back into working out. Like it doesn't have to be like this big thing, and like showing up for people and having their back.
Well, especially because as well, it's like, why is it that couples always get the registry when now they're in a double income household, their parents are paying for everything anyway? Yeah. It's like, why don't we give the single people who just moved into their house a registry? Yeah. Or, you know, when someone has a kid and we all buy baby clothes for them at the baby shower. Yeah. Well, why not, you know, gift someone that just moved into their first apartment as like, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's like dynamics that have already been set up that are just so traditional that it takes someone like you to just like even question that to then spark like the thought in others. Yeah. You know? Did you see the TikTok recently about Venmoing the bride?
No.
So I guess someone was going to a wedding, and on the wedding invite or something, they were saying Venmo the bride for whatever it was. I can't remember. And people were like, I'm not fucking Venmoing the bride. Like, I am paying to go to this wedding.
Like, for a gift?
Yeah, just like Venmo the fucking bride.
Okay.
Like, makes no sense. So, yeah, I'm like, look, I'm paying to go to your wedding. Yeah. I'll give you the wedding gift. I'll give you what's on your registry, whatever the etiquette is. Yeah. I'm not going to give you extra money for getting married.
What about how, like, sometimes you can like go to a bachelorette or like go to a wedding and you're like in a bridesmaid party? Like, have you ever had like a friendship that you thought was going really well, then all of a sudden like go south because of like something like that?
To be honest, Devon, I've not been to many weddings, love. I think my friends are all lost causes because I think I can count how many weddings I've been to in my life.
Really?
Like 3.
Okay.
I've
guess I'm
never
very
been a
opposite with
bridesmaid,
that.
only the bride.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say though, I always think about if I have a wedding,
Yeah.
my bridal party is going to look fucking interesting. It will be like
It'll be so
3
fun.
gay men, a 70-year-old, my second mum, my aunt.
That's gonna be
Like-
so fun.
Like, what the fuck are they all going to wear? Because everyone's
Yeah.
so different.
I think you have so many strong women in your life.
And men.
That,
They're gay, but gay
Yeah.
men.
Like that is also just like a testament, I think, to just going back to friendship is like when you can build out your community of like just really good people, who cares like how old they are?
Yeah, I truly do
Yeah.
feel like I've built a Rolodex of really amazing friends, and B, specifically women that I can look up to and really have them as role models. Like, I don't ever want to have friends in my life that I think I wouldn't want to be like them. I think every person I have in my life that I really truly care about and cherish, I would be happy to live in their shoes and be who they are as a person.
I love that you said that. Because I truly can say this, and I do have like a much smaller group of girlfriends now. When I hang out with my friends, I think they are so fucking cool that I am like, you make me be a better person. And like you said, like if I had like your shoes on for the day, like I would be so proud to like be with you, you know?
I mean, my life's pretty fun. You'd have a ball. And also just, people ask me, this is so random, but they're like, do you like comedy shows? And bear with me. And I say, I don't find comedy shows as funny because I find the funniest things just shit that my friends say. Like when I'm with my friends, especially like some of my UK friends, I have never laughed so much in my life. Or like us. Like we laugh.
Just like crack
like
up all day.
literally belly laughing all day, every single
Even
day.
just with one text.
Yeah, like we're like dying. Like this is the friends I want. I want to literally have just the funniest people walking on earth around
lift
me.
you higher.
Yeah, and also just I have a lot of friends who they treat friendships as, they want friends who can give them something, serve them a purpose. And usually it's quite a superficial side to them that I don't love. But you can tell the people that they're showcasing on Instagram and the people they're surrounding themselves with are just for like aesthetic and for show and for clout. And maybe it is transactional that those friends are providing them with something, whatever that is, whether that's tangible or not. And God forbid I did that, because I just think my richest friendships are people with the most humble jobs, who don't necessarily have much money, who don't have social media, who couldn't care less about, anything that I'm like. They're just the most humble and lovely and caring individuals who would do anything for me and are funny as fuck.
I think it like kind of goes back to what I was saying, where like when people show up as they are, you can like decide if you want to like let them into your life or like how you see them. I think I'm just at a place in my life right now where like I'd rather have fewer people who are just like so solid and who love me for all of like my weird like quirks and who just like really get it. And
There's a few quirks to you, aren't there? I get it though.
Like I think it's like the level of chasing clout for friendships is just so like vapid. And I think also like when you're younger and like, you're maybe going out more and it's like you want to be friends with this person because they have a table and they can get in at this club. To me, it's just so empty now. I would rather, and I've been there. Like I've been there where I have all these friends where it's like so fun going out in LA, or like they like have all these perks. But I just think I'm at a different place in my life where I just would rather have a smaller crew of people that I can depend on for anything. And totally get it.
But here's the thing. We literally know 40, 50-year-olds who still do that, who literally live their lives searching for those friends. So it's embarrassing, quite frankly. We do have to wrap this lovely friendship episode up. So with that, I want to ask you my question for the week. My question for you is, Have you ever had to break up with a friend just like you would in, a romantic relationship?
Yes. I have had a few friendship breakups. I had a friend that I had actually known since I was like a very young girl. I think I was like maybe like 8 or 9. And we grew up together and we were like best friends. And then she did me pretty dirty in the sense that like she just was such a shit talker. And you know how it's like if there's someone in the group who's always shit talking someone, they say they are probably shit talking you behind your back. So we had been friends for, I honestly don't know, maybe like 20 years. And I just found out she was just saying really catty things about me. And I just decided like I had no time for that. And I think she was really shocked because she was like, we've been friends forever. Like, how could you do that? And I think to me, like, trust is so important in friendships, especially for me with female friendships, because you're so like honest and like, I feel like I really let my guard down in that sense. So in that case, like I cut ties with her and never spoke to her again.
Well, that's the thing as well. I don't think I've ever thought about this, but when you break up with a female friend, they will know everything about you.
Everything. And I literally unfollowed her like on all social. I was very good friends with her family and they had reached out even being like, please, like.
That sounds like a romantic
And I just was like, yeah, your friend knows literally everything. But I have had to do it like a couple times, and breaking up with friends is so, so, so hard because it is like a breakup, and I grieved our friendship that I lost.
Right.
Like, it's not like I didn't feel anything, but I also was just like, this is not serving me a purpose. You don't make me feel good. I'm getting anxiety because I'm worried that anything I say you'll repeat in a negative way. And it's like at the end of the day, why would you have a friend that makes you feel yucky?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever broken up with a friend. I think that I've lost many, many good friendships, but it kind of just... There was an unspoken breakup. I think I'm just so bad with conflict with friends. Like I never want to bring anything up. I never want to fight. I think we fought once and that was enough for me.
Yeah, it was when I got mad.
You got mad at me. And
it was for work.
It was so scary. I was so scared when we had a fight.
I apologized.
And then you called me and then you did apologize.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I knew I lost my temper, but it was for work.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I hate conflict in friendships. I've never broken up with anyone. So if ever, I have to break up a friendship, they need to break up with me, or otherwise we just go, like I move countries, quite frankly. I just go.
Distance yourself slowly.
That's what I
time.
do. And like just not reply. I've had some friends where like I just haven't replied to them if like I don't want anything to do with them anymore. But then it's quite sad. Yeah, but then it's quite sad because there are friends that I want in my life and I've not replied to them just because I'm so bad with communication, or sometimes I'm just quite bad on WhatsApp and stuff. And I'm like, no, this isn't a breakup. Like I just am so bad. You know what? If you're my friend, call me because I can't text. I'm so bad at it. Like I would rather fucking write you a letter than like text you. So call me and I will literally answer the phone. I love a Zoom. Like we could Zoom.
I think that's fun. I love a FaceTime catch up.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have FaceTime.
Yeah, I was like a Zoom.
Like Skype.
I was like, I do not want to Zoom.
You can Skype me, friends.
When you were saying that,
I'd love to Zoom. My mum Zoomed me the other day.
So
she was like,
cute.
join my Zoom.
My dad always sends Liam and I links, like, let's do a Zoom.
I love that.
I'm super savage. I'm like, I'm not hopping on the Zoom. I find it so annoying. I'm like, FaceTime. We have the iPhone.
Also, oh my God, I feel like we're restarting the episode, but just one more point. I love friends that you're like pen pals with on email. Friends that you write an email every like 2 years and you catch them up with your life. Love that. Like I'm more traditional. I want to like...
Yeah. I don't love texting. So my favorite thing
Are you fucking serious? You text me all day.
But I don't.
The audacity. I don't love texting. This bitch texts me all day to the point where like after 6 unanswered texts, she will call me because I am ignoring her all day. If I got my phone right now.
No, please. No.
It's just literally the only people in my fucking life are Devon, mother. Devon,
I like phone
wife,
calls more.
mother.
I like phone calls
it's
more.
you, my wife,
love
and
a
my
phone
mother.
chat.
But you do text me all day.
Okay, I'm gonna get better. Okay, my question for you.
Yeah.
Is there any friend in your life right now that you feel like you would like to set sail? And maybe that maybe because you don't like confrontation, you have kind of avoided.
No, there is no one in my life that I would like to set sail. However, there are things I'd like to address that have either upset me or that we need to like change. And I'm just not brave enough. Like, I just hate confrontation with friends.
Yeah.
And if we do it, I want to do it in person, and I want to like sit them down and be like, look, I love you, but this isn't working. But like, I want to keep you. Like, I don't want to lose our friendship. So I need to like go to therapy or something and like figure out how, because I'm so good at doing that with my wife, and like, like you don't need to ask me twice to start an argument. Like, I will be there. But with a friend, I can't do it.
I think that anytime I've ever had to have like an awkward conversation with a friend, it has to be in person. Like, texting is a hard pass. No, because it can totally be like misconstrued. I even think phone is just so awkward because then there's like the silences. I think it has to be in person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like confrontation with friends is so difficult because at the end of the day, you basically just don't want to let somebody down and you don't want to offend them. But I think the only way you can have a healthy reciprocal relationship is if you tell them how you feel.
Yeah, I need to get better at that. So no, there's no one in my life I'd like to discard. I love everyone, and I've built, you know, a really close and, you know, army of friends that I will literally be friends with for life, but I would like to address certain things with like one or two people, but we'll check.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
And if you know who you are, hit her in the DM.
Please don't. Please don't. I'm scared.
I surprise you with them as the guest.
Oh yeah. Week 4. Okay.
Love you.
Bye y'all.